Hey guys, welcome to my Bioshock 2 review. First I'm going to talk about the graphics. The graphics in Bioshock 2 were good, but they weren't amazing for the time. Bioshock's graphics were amazing when it came out, but when Bioshock 2 came out, they were pretty much the same, and they were still good, but they weren't as stunning as the first game's graphics. At the time, of course. Now I want to talk about the audio real quick. The audio in this game is very immersive and it's good, just like the first games. But the single player, it is great, just like last time. However, it is not as good as the first game's single player. That's because it is in the same setting, and it sort of loses the wow factor that the first game had. However, they tried their best to make it a different experience, and they did a good job. First of all, this time around, you're Big Daddy. Yes, you could say that. Okay, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't played Bioshock 1. You could say that you become a Big Daddy at the end of the first game, but this time you are actually a Big Daddy and can function like one. Okay, there's the sort of the end of the spoiler. For example, you can use Big Daddy's weapons, like the drill, the rivet gun, also on top of fighting other Big Daddies, you have to fight Big Sisters. And one more thing is that the main antagonist of the game is now somebody called Sophia Lamb. But I won't say much about her or the Big Sisters to avoid story spoilers. If you haven't played the game yet, I recommend you just playing it as blind as possible. Okay, now it is time to talk about something that fans of the first game might have been a tiny bit skeptical about when first hearing about. It is the multiplayer. And yes, this game does have multiplayer this time around. And the multiplayer in this game is simply amazing. It has got to be one of the best multiplayers in any game I have ever played, period. It's seriously got to be one of the best. There isn't much to it, but that's what makes it so much fun. It's simple. But at the same time, there's more customization than other simple games out there that you've seen, like Counter-Strike, where it's very straightforward. Also, basically, it's like you just got your gun, your plasmids, your tonics, and your melee weapon, and that's pretty much it. That's why it's simple. There's also other elements to the multiplayer that are borrowed from the single player, like hacking vending machines and picking up Eve hypos around the map to refill your Eve. But there's one problem with this multiplayer. The multiplayer is laggy as crap. It is way too laggy. And the lag is actually why I stopped playing it. If there was no lag, I seriously would have played it 1 to maybe even 4 months longer than I did. So that is the one problem, is the lag. So if you are easily annoyed by lag, definitely you might not have a very good time with this game because the lag is ridiculous. Okay, so now for the final verdict. The final verdict is that I give Bioshock 2 a 9, because it's not as good as the first game, and it has more issues than the first game, but it's still a good game. It's still a good game. It's just that with the single player, it seems like we already experienced Rapture. That was the amazing part of the first game, was experiencing Rapture. In this game, we've already seen a bunch of Rapture. The only difference is now you're Big Daddy, and there's other gameplay things like that that are different. So the experience, they tried to make it as different as possible, but still, it's still the same setting and all that. And the fact that they had multiplayer was amazing, because the multiplayer was amazing. It was great. If the multiplayer was terrible, then obviously I would probably give this game an 8.5, maybe even an 8. But since the multiplayer is so good, that actually bumps it up to a 9. So there you go. That is the final verdict on Bioshock 2. And there is my Bioshock 2 review. Look out for my next review, which is going to be my Lego Batman review. That should be posted on the 10th. So Friday, August 10th. See you next time.